Hey guys. Um, so I don't know what this would really fall under, but basically the other night I was seeing Justice League for a second time with my brother and sister, and re-listening to all of that dialogue, I could really hear, a lot of Joss's voice after many years of watching, his work and digesting. Every writer, every director has their own kind of signature. So there's definitely like a Whedon thing at work, and I was talking on, I run Whedon World on Facebook, one of the other things that I do. Um, looking at it in that respect, like I could really hear it, particularly in Barry. But there were also like smatterings of it, like with Superman, not Superman, with Batman rather. Um, one of Wonder Woman's impassioned speeches felt very, actually kind of reminded me of Angel. You would think I'd say Buffy, but no, actually kind of reminded me of something Angel might say. And I could feel these elements within it, and honestly, I love that. I love seeing that. One of the best things about Age of Ultron, which got a lot of shit for reasons, I mean, it wasn't the best thing ever. The reason why it fell short for me personally was because it did not touch on, like, there were moments like at the farm and after Tony's party where there were these moments with just the group talking and being themselves. And frankly, I found that more interesting than fighting a big bad. Seeing these characters develop and how they interact with one another, Natasha and Bruce, or Tony and Steve, and they have these moments where they're just being, and that really, to me, that not only lets the writing shine, lets the actors shine as well. Like, action is great. Obviously, a film like that, you want to have, action. But I think what a lot of people fail to understand or miss is that also the relationships are just as important. Um, and that's where a lot of Joss's writing really gets it right. Where a lot of his speeches and whatnot get it right. And I think it's hilarious actually because I don't know, I would love to see a compare contrast script of the original Justice League and whatever changes Joss made, because it seems like ultimately he did get to write for Wonder Woman, in some capacity. But anyway, I just think it's kind of amazing that he has his hands, first in the MCU. He played a pivotal role with Marvel, kicking off the Avengers first two chapters as a team, creating that team, basically. And now he's in the DC universe, extended universe, with the Justice League, even though it was under unfortunate circumstances, helping out with that film, also doing Batgirl. What I would really love to see, actually, is to have Joss have a hand in the Flashpoint movie as well. I think he really gets Barry Allen. I think he really gets that character. That character is kind of reminiscent. Um, kind of feels like, like a hybrid of like a Xander and maybe like early onset Fred Burkle and like I think he knows where Barry Allen, this version of Barry Allen, let me be specific, not Grant Gustin's Barry Allen, but Ezra Miller's Barry Allen. I think he knows where this character lives, and I think it would be totally remiss to not have him be part of Flashpoint in some capacity. I know they pushed the film back. My brother told me, I haven't actually read anything about that yet, but they pushed the film back from 2018 to 2019. And thus far, the only DC film scheduled to release for next year is Aquaman, um, which they're still filming and editing, I believe. Or at least that was the last update that I got at Comic Con. So, um, but yeah, I know Joss got a lot of flack also for his Wonder Woman script. I hadn't actually had a chance to finish reading it. I haven't had a lot of time for leisure reading. I don't. I can't say if it was bad or if it was good because again, I only read like the first maybe 20 pages, and it wasn't terrible. I could definitely see again elements of Joss in there, um, but I don't. I just can't believe that it's as terrible as people are purporting it to be. But he got a lot of flack for Natasha, which I also thought was unfounded. her story and her character, which she also deserves a film, by the way. Marvel, if you're listening, probably not, but whatever. I don't understand why there hasn't been a Black Widow film. I think that'd be freaking awesome, like some sort of hybrid of The Long Kiss Goodnight and Jason Bourne, which I'd be totally down for. Um, her relationship with the Hulk seemingly left field. I think it was definitely set up in the first Avengers film when she tries to talk him down. She tries to talk Bruce Banner down, and eventually she ends up she's the reason why the Hulk goes to sleep. We see in Thor Ragnarok, Thor tries the sun's getting low bit, and it doesn't work at all. What works is him seeing broken footage of Natasha talking to him to come back. That's what brings back, Banner. It's her. And that was definitely set up from the first moment that they met. She, approaches him, like obviously she had a whole team surrounding like his little hut thing or whatever, where she finds him. But she's the one who says, "It'll be me. I'll do it. I'll face this guy. I don't care." And I think that definitely allowed room for his respect for her started there, and they just been kind of intertwined from the beginning. I think if people were to rewatch the first Avengers and then go into just the scenes of Bruce and Natasha, they'll see that there had been something brewing there all along. And then following that up with Thor Ragnarok, I wouldn't be upset if anything happened with those two characters. Okay, I'm kind of off topic. Marvel. Okay. This is supposed to be mostly about Joss. But anyway, point being is that Mr. Whedon has played a pivotal role with MCU. I look forward to his work with the DCEU. I still think that, and I said this to him at Comic-Con a few years ago, which I'll talk about in another video in the Fangirl Encounters, but I still think he should do not a Buffy movie. Everyone keeps talking about a Buffy movie, and it's like, Buffy is Buffy. I don't want to see Buffy in some other variant. I don't think, not everything needs to be remade, but I can see building on that universe. And what I mean by that is, what I said to him, and I can't find the footage anywhere. I wish I had someone record it for me, but there should be like a Tales of the Slayers kind of thing. There should be a franchise of movies about different Slayers from different time periods, starting with the most interesting Slayer that I think is Nikki Wood. Here you have the only known Slayer who was a mother. She was in the 70s at a very, very pivotal time for, the U.S. and civil rights and for Black people, obviously. And, after the impending success of Black Panther, I think it would be even more reasonable to have a huge big budget film for that particular character, and also bring back Spike. I'm not gonna lie, I don't think James is too old to play that character. I still want to see that character on the big screen. I think a film like that, aesthetically, if it was filmed noir, to ensure that it does not have the blaxploitation feel to it. I don't want it to be that. Like a black and white, not necessarily Sin City quality, but just the stark black and white take on this Slayer's life. Like, and how did it change? How old was she when she was called? How long was she active? Like, I have so many questions. Was she a mother before she was a Slayer or after? Was she aware of her potential status before, she became, an adult, a woman? Like, the initial Nikki Wood, I'm going to go with the initial one because I really hated the one that they had, the actress they chose in season 7. I thought it was terrible casting. The initial actress, who seemed very powerful, very strong, but also a bit older, a bit more mature. She didn't seem like a teenage girl or even someone in her 20s. I would have pegged her as someone being in her 30s, very seasoned, very aggressive, very stylish. I love that outfit. I loved it. I love those pants. I still want those pants really bad. I really want to cosplay as her so badly. If someone can make those pants for me. I think that would be a brilliant film. I think it would be a lovely, like, obviously we know how it ends. It doesn't end well, but that doesn't mean we can't see her journey to that point. Howardens for her. Um, and the fact that we have a movie where the heroine doesn't make it, and they could recreate that train sequence and expand on it. Like, how did they get to the subway? Was there a chase? Who was chasing who? You know, like, we just see them fighting on the train. Like, do they just obviously, knowing what we know in season 7, they didn't just stumble upon each other. Um, he was looking for her. So maybe he followed her on that train. Or maybe she's decided to turn tables. You know what? I'm going to go after him. Because that's kind of what she tells Robin in that season 7 flashback. She has to fight the fight. So maybe she's like, no, F this. I'm going to go after you, Spike. You're not going to hunt me down. Let's do this now. Which would be an interesting take. Like, it's so much meat there in this one story, this one Slayer. And you can choose a Slayer, like, even, and then after that, you can choose, obviously, there's the Slayer during the Boxer Rebellion. The first Slayer is a mute, so obviously we wouldn't do a story about him. Well, actually, take that back. When you think about, like, The Revenant, when you think about, what was that film with Tom Hanks on the island? He crashes on the island, he talks to Wilson. The few times that he does speak, he's speaking to a volleyball, but the bulk of that film is him not talking. So maybe you could do a movie on the first Slayer. The actress who played hers looks like she's still in pretty good shape, so why not? And then you can choose like one for each decade, a different period, like American Girls, the dolls that have these different dolls from different periods of time. You can do that same concept with the Slayers, and it would be amazing. And I wouldn't do PG-13, I'd do rated R. I do a lot of drama. I'd love to see, like, you could do Dana's story before she's turned. Like, the movie can end with her becoming a Slayer. Like, she's already, that would be a serious and heavy film. But you can intertwine this fabulous drama, which the show has already built, and expand on that and make it a beautiful cinematic story. Like, I don't understand why this isn't a thing. Anyway, those are the many reasons why, part of the many reasons why I love Joss, who's created this world and these worlds and have expanded on these characters in such a beautiful way. I look forward to whatever he does in the future. I just, it's not to say he's infallible. I know, like, the whole Joss is boss slogan and Joss is God and all that business. I love him as a writer, as a creator of things. I think he's magnificent. And even though I couldn't get into Firefly, I tried really hard. I just couldn't do it. But outside of that, I look forward to more of his work. Also, Dollhouse. I just couldn't get into that. I might try it again someday. But mostly, obviously, Buffy and Angel is a big reason why I'm a fangirl to begin with. That opened up the door to fandom to me. With fan fiction and conventions and meeting actors and having these amazing experiences, it definitely, that show, really the film. And I know he has his beef with the film and it didn't turn out how he wanted to, whatever. But the initial film that I saw as a little girl, that sparked it for me. That made me watch the show. Even though I went into it with skepticism, I ended up loving the show. That put me on a certain particular path to where I am today. So I will always forever be appreciative of Joss Whedon. Again, I look forward to his work. And if the gods are listening, Joss Whedon, if you're listening, please, please, please do Tales of the Slayer. So, thanks guys. Talk to you soon.